What's up guys, welcome back to another DevPro Duel video. Gravekeepers are getting new support cards in Legacy of the Valiant. There is much hype around these new cards, but from testing most of the new cards were very underwhelming. The deck you see here is my current deck list. There are a few cards that I want to test in the main deck, but I'll come back to that in the deck profile at the end of the video. I have a lot of games ready, but before I start I want to thank Fresh Wacko for helping me out with a few Pokemon I needed for breeding, so thanks for helping me out. Also, I posted my friend code in the video description, so feel free to add me. Alright, let's get to some duels. My first opponent is playing Fire Kings. I get to start, have a decent opening hand, already access to Necro Valley, which is the first thing you want to do, and also opening with the Tomb, basically an Infinity barrier for Gravekeepers. You can pretty much stop everything if you control a Gravekeeper on the field, a face-up Gravekeeper that is, and a Necro Valley. So I'm forced to MST is tanky, and at that moment I also see that he's playing not Fire Fist but Fire Kings, so I think activating Tomb on his Onslaught was a good move to block a possible Gyronix from coming to the field. I draw into a command and obviously going to push 4-4-1, I believe. Yeah, and he's going to set 2 back rows. Here I had the potential to go for game, to obviously blow up his monster and yeah, search out an extra monster and attack for a game, but he still had his 2 back rows, and I didn't want to risk blowing up a Yaksha and then running into a Compulse or a Book of Moon or whatever. So I play it safe, and he survives, and I also think it was a Yaksha face down, and with Barong he's able to search out another Onslaught, so there is a Gyronix on the field. But in that scenario, if that was the case, I think I still was safe because I had Book of Moon set, but he's able to block that with this Fire Formation spell card. But still, at this moment I didn't think I would lose the game, since he's going to attack my Recruiter, and the Recruiter is going to fetch the Disciple from my deck. Disciple is also one of the new cards in Legacy of the Valiant. When it's a start of battle I can special summon a Gravekeeper monster from my deck in face down defense position, so excellent. It's an excellent Recruiter. For example, or the best card to search out is obviously Spy. I also get Prison with Duality, so I wasn't expecting that he would attack my face down, but now after seeing the replay, he top decked into a lens, but still he shouldn't have attacked my face down, so now I can flip the Spy. He's going to Maxi for the 1-for-1, no problem. To search out a Recruiter, I normal summon Descendant, and now I try to go for it. So blow up his Gyronix and try to attack at least for some damage. I think he would have left, would be left with a slither amount of HP, life points I must say, and then I would have ended the game with Cowboy. So he's forced to lens, and I'm obviously going to blow up his back row with Descendants. I'm forced to Book of Moon his Wolfbark, and he knows that I have the Prison set, so he's not going to attack with his Gyronix. And then here is Assailant. Assailant, an excellent card to attack over his Wolfbark. I put his Gyronix in defense because I can, no apparent reason. No important reason, I must say. And here he probably forgets that Necro Valley is on the field, so his Spirit is negated, and that's, yeah, a lot of people are forgetting that Necro Valley is on the field when they summon Spirit or activate Call of the Hunted or whatever, so that's GG. Next, a very short duel, but a very interesting one, since my opponent is playing Chronomalies, also one of the newer archetypes in Legacy of the Valiant, so I'm probably going to review them in one of my next videos. But you see here what's coming. He has a full hand of monsters, and of course Gravekeepers still have their 1 roll tribute, and we know how broken or unfair roll tribute as a card is. It should be banned next to Gateway of the Six, card destruction. So it wasn't a fair game, but this was just, yeah, just to show that Royal Tribute is still an unfair card, since I saw a few Gravekeeper decklists not playing Royal Tribute. Next to my opponent is playing Thunders, the Thunder family. I get to start. I think, yeah, searched out, or I got the Tomb from Duality Tomb not live since I didn't have a Gravekeeper on the field and no Necrovalley. He has an open field, and here I attack with, first going to attack with both weaker monsters, and he was thinking for a long time, so that way he pretty much told me that he had Cores in his hand, but Cores wasn't a problem since I have Descendant. I can blow up Recruiter to search out the Commandant from my deck, send it to the grave to search out Necrovalley, and end with Key Beetle, since I know he's playing Hunters, and Hunters need to make Exceed monsters to go, or at least put the pressure on the opponent. And I have Vanity's Emptiness set, and we know how important or how good the lock with Key Beetle is. So here, obviously going to attack. Didn't expect the Dragolia from coming out, but still with the Emptiness set, the Key Beetle on the field protecting both Necrovalley and Emptiness. He's not going to win this duel either way. So GG. Next game. Inzektors. Again, a really short game. Not because of Royal Tribute. Well, Royal Tribute again did some extra, but I don't think it was a win condition in this duel. He's going to equip Gigamandis and the sword to his Ladybug and pass. But you know, obviously, how good Necrovalley is against Inzektors. So I activate Royal Tribute, discard these two monsters, then MST his Gigamantis is negated by Necrovalley, and then I can deck over his Ladybug. His sword is also negated, and him only having his MST in hand. Again, GG, a short duel. Next, Zombies. Also one of the better duels of the, or at least one of the better duels I had past few days testing with the Gravekeeper deck. Again, you see the Royal Tribute here, but again, Royal Tribute wasn't the win condition, since as you see, I lose one monster, he loses a Maxi, not that important, and the Zombie Master. Necrovalley is way more threatening compared to Royal Tribute in this situation. So I flip Spy. Here's Maxi, would have been a 1-for-1, so I search out Recruiter and attack for some damage, since we know it's an MST set. That's also why Royal Tribute is a very, very good card. You get information on the opponent, or at least over the opponent's hand. He top decks into another FC, so he's going to MST my Necrovalley. Don't have a Tomb to protect it. And then he's going to MST, or at least a random MST, one of my back rows. I chain Compulse on the Spy for next turn. He's able to Book of Life and Foolish into a Plague, so he's going to discard this Malicious. I obviously have to Fiendish Chain that one, otherwise he would have been able to Reborn his Plague Spreader and banish Malicious and so on. Probably going for Stardust. Then attack into his Zombie Master to search out the Command, I believe, and then search out the Necrovalley from my deck. Obviously to block his Malicious in grave. He can still activate Plague, but blocking that Malicious is crucial, and maybe a top deck Call of the Haunted or Book of Life is also important, why I need to have that Necrovalley on the field. I draw into a Tomb, so again an excellent card in this scenario. I already have a nice established field, and putting a Tomb next to that is pretty much game over. So set Tomb, and also with the warning set, I know I should have the game in the bag. He's going to pass with the Course in hand, but I have both warning and Tomb set to prevent the Course from coming out. So I think I should have warninged here instead of Tomb, just in case he top decks into a third MST or something to destroy the Necrovalley. But yeah, it doesn't really matter though. So we decided to have a rematch again against Zombies. Yep. And I think he gets to start. Yeah, indeed, he has an average opening hand. Although opening with 2 Plague, the Spore is not the opening hand you want to have with Zombies. Also looking at my hand, also not that super great. I take over his monster. He's not going to prison it, since he probably wants to have his Goblin into the grave. So he can discard his Mizuki, his Dandelion, and so on. I have to warning his Zombie Master. I should have waited on a Synchro Summon later, but yeah, maybe he would have discarded something else, and so on. Then I prison his Zombie Master to protect my only monsters, since I don't have any monsters in my hand. I also don't have a Necrovalley on the field. Finally, there is a Necro Valley, so I activate the Necro Valley, and with Doom set, I can safely attack over the Goblin Zombie. If he didn't have any protection, I would have negated the Goblin Zombie with Doom, but I'm forced to Doom his prison, since yeah, Assailant is my only monster, and pretty much Necro Valley is blocking his whole deck. He searches out the zombie mess, so I think he was hoping that he was going to rip Mystical Space Typhoon off the top of his deck, and of course he does. So I'm forced to Doom his MST to protect my Necro Valley. He's going to Synchro Summon for Hades, and luckily my last back row is another business, so I can protect my only monster. And at least have some field control. He also activated his Plague, so I think here his 2 cards in hand are pretty much dead, so no threat. And also he put 1 card on the top of his deck, so again probably a dead card, not that important. And he's only going to set 1 monster, so I draw, set the Compulse, or at least yeah, first going to attack just in case it's something like a Raikou. Then attack with Assailant over the token, putting it in attack position. He's left at 1k life points, so I can't go for Cowboy to finish the game. He draws into a Wing Blast, and he's going to normal summon his Spore. I was thinking to Compulse his Spore here, but I didn't want to risk maybe Mind Control or whatever. Yeah, Mind Control would have mattered. But he top decks into a Mind Control, so obviously going to chain the Compulse on his formula, and he's left with pretty much nothing. He reveals his Wing Blast, and yeah, scoops the game. So okay, a pretty okay, good duel. Next, my opponent is playing the new Shinras, I believe it's called, or I believe the archetype is called. It's also from Legacy of the Valiant. It's also, it's obviously a new archetype, but the archetype is not that good at the moment. They work like you can search through your deck, and you can put 1 Shinra Plantine monster on the top of your deck, and then mill the top of your deck to the grave and so on. So it's something like that. But overall, the current support for the archetype is very underwhelming. I played against it a few times, so I wasn't sure how the deck worked. So I book my spy, search out another recruiter, since I do have the Descendant in hand, so I can blow up his bigger monster, his bigger threat. And on top of that, I draw into a Necro Valley, and with Doom set, that's perfect. So search out the commander from my deck, search out another Necro Valley just in case. Then attack over his monster for extra damage. And I think I'm going to pause. Pretty much a safe feeling, set a Stele as an extra bluff, just in case he randomly MSTs and misses my Doom. He activates Miracle Fertilizer, I believe it's called, but again, forgetting that Necro Valley is a card and is face up on the field, and I believe he's left at 5,900 life points. I attack for, I believe, 5/8, if I'm not mistaken. Indeed, so he's left at 100 life points, but Gaga Cowboy is a ridiculously, is at least a ridiculous card. So burn damage for game. So yeah, after seeing the new Shinra archetype, it's currently, with its current support, it's not that great. Next, Lightsworn. So set the Phoenix Chain, set Mirror Force, and set the monster and pass, which is an okay opening, although no Necro Valley. And as soon as I see this playing Lightsworns, Necro Valley pretty important because of the Gale Sorcerer, Blackluster, Lumina, and so on. Argus attacks into Recruiter and passes. Normal summon another Recruiter and attack into his Argus. And here he was thinking for some time during the damage step. I believe it's during the damage step. And the damage calculation for activating is honest or not. So I knew he had an honest in hand, which will be important next turn. And again, one of the players that forgets Necro Valley is a card and is face up on the field, so his Lumina is negated. Luckily, I do have a Phoenix Chain to block the Judgment Dragon from activating its effect. So now, as I said before, I was expecting the Honest in hand, so obviously I have no out for the JD. Special summon Cyber End and attack over the JD. There is the expected Honest and attack over the Lumina and pass. Hopefully him not drawing an MST or something like that. to destroy the Phoenix Chain. He sets one monster, and here I was I just couldn't take the risk that it would have been a Ryko to destroy my Phoenix Chain, and then yeah, during his turn it would blow my whole field. So that's why I Dark Hole my field and search out the Assailant, I believe, and attack for 2k and pass. He has a useless Blackluster in hand. He can also not remove his Necrogardenas from the grave thanks to Necro Valley. He can also not activate his Diablos effect because of Necro Valley. So again, Necro Valley and Gravekeepers putting in some work. Attack for 1/7, and he's left with 1/1, at least 1,100 life points. Not going to set the prison just in case he rips another Judgment Dragon. I have the prison for next turn. But GG. Next duel, Dragon Rulers, and here you'll see that Gravekeepers, thanks to Doom and MST's main deck, have a very good matchup against Dragon Rulers, which they normally have, by the way. So he's activating he's going to activate his first Ravine, MST, obviously to protect my Necro Valley, and here he already scoops, which I think was a bit too fast since he has a second Ravine in hand. So if he would have activated the second Ravine, I would have activated my Doom to negate his Ravine, and then it would have been a pretty much open game since he did have a Sacred Sword in hand, the Tempest that he could banish, 2 new cards, a Search from Tempest, so yeah, it was an open duel. But yeah, he decides to scoop. Next, Infernoids, and we all know how good Necro Valley is against Infernoids. So I normal summon Recruiter and set 4, pretty much a very solid opening with because yeah, now Doom is live, and with Necro Valley on the field, I can activate Doom to protect Necro Valley. Yeah, to protect Necro Valley, of course. He MSTs my Necro Valley, so I have to negate it with Doom. Since that pretty much tells me that he wants to get rid of the Necro Valley, of course. In normal summons this Greffer, I don't think, or at least at that moment I didn't think the Greffer was that threatening. I searched out the Descendant, I believe, then stay away, search out another Necro Valley, and again end with the Recruiter, instead of setting it, normal summoning it, maybe bluffing a Doom. I'm not going to bottomless his Sweep Patrol, I don't think it was that threatening. He's going for Direwolf, which I'm obviously going to combo since he did want to get rid of the Necro Valley. But yeah, Necro Valley and Gravekeepers all in all putting in some work. The last duel of the video, again Dragon Rulers, and I put, at least the Dragon Ruler matches I played with this deck were very good, very solid. And I think this was one of the matches I lost, one of the only matches I lost. So again, he opens with 2 Ravine. I negate the first one, but he doesn't activate the second one, which is smart, since yeah, I obviously would have searched out another Commandant and then search out another Necro Valley. So he's going to keep his Necro Valley. He's going to keep his Ravine for later. Again, I think I have a solid back row, Book of Moon, Phoenix Chain against Dracosec or whatever a bigger threat that is coming that he is going to summon. I have to Phoenix Chain his Debris Dragon. I don't want to get Black Roast and pretty much lose the game from there. Yeah, I special summoned this Redux, and I believe it is going to Exceed, I'm not sure. He also has a Sacred Sword left set, so I don't know why he's not activating his sword for some extra draws, a search, and so on. Yeah, he's going for Star Eater attack over my Recruiter. Then, obviously, going to search out another Necro Valley since I need to get rid of his Ravine and block his grave, that he cannot banish his monster from his grave. That would leave him with a lot less options in the duel. But sadly, he does have a Raigeki break, so he's able to get rid of my Necro Valley and yeah, at least survive, or at least keep his Ravine on the field. And as you see, he also draws into a return from a different dimension. I'm forced to Torrential here, since otherwise I think it would have been a good game already. He sets his return, I don't draw Emptiness or a Tomb or whatever to negate a possible return. So here I was hoping, please don't have return, and as soon as I see that he has Raigeki Break and Raigeki Break on my face down back row, I know it was game over. So there is return, and yeah, nothing I can do about that. Yeah, anyway, GG. So let's get to the deck list. My current ratios for the new cards. Disciple, I think is best at 2. It's somewhat a recruiter, but needs to be destroyed by battle, which is a downside of the card. Gravekeeper Shaman was performing very underwhelming. It's a tribute monster, so you don't want to draw it. You want to special summon it with Spy. And with this, when it's face up on the field, your opponent cannot destroy or activate new field spells. So it's pretty good against Dragon Rulers, but mediocre against other decks. So 1 or 2 in the side deck is fine. Shrine, Necrophilic Shrine, also wasn't the card I expected it to be. It's a continuous spell that pretty much acts like a Vanity's Emptiness, and you can only have it face up on the field if you have both a Gravekeeper on the field and a Necrophilic, which is not that hard for the deck, but the bigger problem is keeping both conditions intact. If not, Shrine is destroyed. And against Dragon Rulers it's an okay card, like Emptiness, but it's hard to keep the conditions for the card on the field against all the other decks. If they can disrupt the combo, it's pretty much game over. I'm liking Vanity's Emptiness more at the moment because, for example, its chain ability. Gravekeeper's Tomb acts like an Infinity Barrier, but it can only be activated once per turn. It's a very good card, but I might drop it to 2 for another Emptiness. 3 Tomb might be too much. As for the rest, yeah, Gravekeeper Ambusher is also a new card from Legacy of the Valiant. It's a Gravekeeper that I'm not playing. It has a very good effect, but again, the conditions for getting its effect makes the card, I think, decent at the most. I might play it once in the main deck, but definitely, yeah, not more than 1. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Guys, thanks for watching, and feel free to leave a comment or a like if you enjoyed the video. Leave signing out. Peace.